Hey guys, welcome back to Fly By Night Reviews. I'm your host, Kiren. As you can see, I am flying solo tonight, but don't worry, Dom's going to join us later on in the week. But let's just talk about this new movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I saw it a couple days ago, and I have some thoughts on it. If you're expecting an amazing film, I think you're going to be a little disappointed. I know a lot of people had criticism of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I feel like this might be kind of on at the same level, possibly better. It is directed by James Mangold, who's done The Wolverine and Logan. So there is a different director. It's not Steven Spielberg, but I've heard that Steven Spielberg actually had a big part in this film. So there is definitely an Indiana Jones vibe throughout. And it is a little bit slower at times. I found myself kind of getting lost in the runtime a bit because it is like I think a 2.5 hour movie, longer than the previous one. But Harrison Ford is like 81 years old. I mean, it's what a time to be alive. The fact that he's still doing this, he's still out there being Indiana Jones, and the fact that we have a fifth Indiana Jones movie in 2023 is pretty cool, but I do, I'm not saying that this is a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm saying it's a good movie. I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan. My favorite Indiana Jones film is still Temple of Doom, but this one, I can definitely compare it more to Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade in terms of storytelling. You get a lot of Nazis. In the beginning of the movie, it's basically a flashback, and you get a de-aged Harrison Ford, which is a little takes you out of it a little bit because they're not quite there with the technology. But I could see them having to do that because that was sort of their the story, and there was kind of no way around it. But it definitely felt like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade-esque kind of Indiana Jones film. Very action-packed. And then it sort of fast forwards to, I guess, present day, which is, I think, set in 1969. And, Indiana Jones is kind of like a shell of his former self. He's sort of older, obviously. He has definitely some things that happened in his life. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it affects his overall personality, and he's a little bit different. I mean, he obviously he's still Indiana Jones, but he's gone through some stuff, which I really appreciate about this movie. As for characters, you have Helena, who's played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I thought was actually a pretty decent kind of addition to this movie. I know a lot of people were complaining, she's kind of like a woke character or whatever that means. I actually kind of liked her. There was a nice little dynamic between them. She was kind of very opinionated, very strong-willed, which, I really appreciate. And, she's basically finds Indiana Jones and wants to find this relic, which is the dial that her father was looking for. And of course, Indiana Jones is like, okay, maybe I have one more room for one more adventure. So he kind of agrees to do this with her. And, it's kind of the typical Indiana Jones plot. They're looking for some kind of artifact, and they go on an adventure. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I want you to go see the movie. But yeah, there's definitely, with Crystal Skull, people said it kind of went overboard with the whole fantastical elements with the whole aliens and this and that. This one does have those supernatural, fantastical elements. But then you think about it, all the Indiana Jones films kind of had that, so it's not very surprising. But overall, I mean, the ending was satisfying. There was definitely a happy ending, even though it was kind of sad. You find out some information about Indiana Jones and his wife and son that is, probably going to upset some people. But, that's kind of how life is. And I know the last movie, Shia LaBeouf, was kind of like, he vented that he didn't really like the movie, Crystal Skull, and he soured some relationships with some of these filmmakers, so they had to kind of figure out a way to kind of include him in this movie, but at the same time not actually have him in the movie. So you'll understand if you watch it. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a good ride. I believe this is Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie. But who knows? Like another 3 years, he could be like, "Oh, I feel like I have one more movie I can do." But I'm pretty sure this is it. But yeah. Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Just letting you know, we just hit 50 subscribers, so I want to thank each and every one of you who subscribed to our channel, who's commented. It means a lot to us. We continue to kind of, get more used to this whole algorithm thing, so it really means a lot. But anyway, on that note, we will catch you next time.